How does a country that lost 2/3 of its territory in a single treaty still build the largest parliament in Europe? Hungary's answer sits on the banks of the Danube, a Gothic revival giant finished in 1904 that dwarfs every other building in the country. The river beneath it splits the capital into Buda and Pest, two halves that became one city only in 1873. The answer begins in one square that burned twice and was rebuilt richer both times. North of Budapest, the Danube bends sharply at Szentendre, a riverside town with forested hills rising behind traditional rooftops. The river flows south through Hungary, turning here at this scenic bend. Lake Balaton stretches roughly 77 kilometers across western Hungary, making it the largest lake in Central Europe. Its average depth barely reaches 3 meters, so the water warms quickly each summer. Sailboats cross the turquoise surface from piers at Balaton hurried, one of the oldest resort towns on the northern shore. Ferries carry passengers between the northern and southern banks. Swans drift near the reed-lined edges. The lake has drawn Hungarian vacationers for generations, and its shallow, warm water makes it a natural swimming destination for families. The Széchenyi Peninsula juts into the northern shore of Lake Balaton, narrowing the water at its western end. A Benedictine abbey has stood on this hilltop since 1055. Its founding charter contains the earliest surviving written words in the Hungarian language, a document that anchors the peninsula to the nation's origins. Balaton Foldwar sits on the lake's southern shore, where the water runs shallow and warm. A modern spiral lookout tower rises from the parkland, giving visitors a clear line of sight across the flat expanse toward the northern hills. Hortobágy National Park protects Hungary's largest stretch of the Puszta, a vast grassland plain. The park is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, its marshy ponds sheltering waterbirds. The Bükk Mountains rise in Hungary's northern uplands, covered in dense deciduous forest and cut by limestone valleys. Near the city of Miskolc, the resort area of Lillafjörd sits tucked among these wooded hills. The Hotel Pelota at Lillafjörd was built in the 1920s in neo-Renaissance style, set beside Lake Hamory in a forested valley. Nearby stone towers with conical slate roofs stand restored in the park, remnants of older fortifications. The whole area belongs to the Bükk National Park region, where limestone formations and wooded trails surround these historic structures. Esztergom was Hungary's capital from the 10th to the 13th century, and its basilica remains the largest church in the country. The neoclassical building sits on Castle Hill, its green dome visible for miles along the Danube. The river marks the border with Slovakia here, and the town's religious authority dates back to Hungary's first king, Stephen, who was crowned at the turn of the first millennium. In Budapest, St. Stephen's Basilica carries his name and continues the ecclesiastical line that began in Esztergom. Esterházy Palace in Fertőd is called the Hungarian Versailles. Built in the 18th century for the Esterházy noble family, its geometric gardens and Baroque halls once hosted the composer Joseph Haydn. Sopron sits near the Austrian border, its medieval old town intact. The fire tower is the city's most recognizable landmark, rising above terracotta rooftops that survived centuries of border shifts. Pest is one of Hungary's oldest cities, founded by Romans in the early centuries. Its cathedral dates to the 11th century, with 4 spired towers and a green roof rising above the downtown grid. The city was a European capital of culture in 2010, recognized for its 2,000 years of layered history. On Széchenyi Square, the Mosque of Pasha Qasim from the 16th century now serves as a Catholic church. Buda Castle has stood on Castle Hill since the 13th century, rebuilt after fires, sieges, and wars that repeatedly leveled it. The current Baroque palace overlooks the Danube and the flat Pest side of the city. Castle Hill is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, its narrow streets and palace walls holding the administrative seat of Hungarian kings for centuries. The green domes of the complex mark the highest ground in central Budapest, and the hill remains the geographic and historical anchor of the capital's western bank. Matthias Church was first built in the 13th century on Castle Hill, its patterned tile roof and Gothic spires visible across the Danube. King Matthias Corvinus married there twice, giving the church his name. Beside it stands the Fisherman's Bastion, a neo-Romanesque arcade completed in the late 19th century. Its 7 white stone towers represent the 7 Magyar tribes that settled the Carpathian Basin in the 9th century. The bastion's arches frame the river and the parliament below, turning a defensive wall into a national symbol. The Citadella Fortress was built in 1851 by the Habsburgs to control Budapest after the failed Hungarian Revolution. Today, the bronze Liberty statue stands on Gellért Hill, commemorating those who died for Hungary's freedom. The hill offers the broadest panorama of the capital. Heroes Square was built for the 1896 Millennium Celebration, marking 1,000 years since the Magyar conquest of the Carpathian Basin. The central column is topped by the Archangel Gabriel, with statues of 7 Hungarian tribal leaders below. The square is flanked by the Museum of Fine Arts and the Palace of Art. It opens at the end of Andrassy Avenue, Budapest's grandest boulevard, creating a straight axis from the city center to this national monument. Andrassy Avenue was built in 1872 as Budapest's most elegant boulevard, lined with trees and grand apartment blocks. The avenue is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, connecting the center to Heroes Square. Vajdahunyad Castle was built in 1896 for the Millennial Exhibition, displaying replicas of Romanesque, Gothic, and Baroque Hungarian architecture in one structure. It now houses the Museum of Hungarian Agriculture in its park setting. Hungary's thermal water surfaces in 2 very different forms. At Heves, the largest thermal lake in Europe suitable for bathing, stays near 38 degrees Celsius year-round, surrounded by forest. In Budapest, the Széchenyi Thermal Bath is one of the largest bath complexes in Europe. Its yellow neo-Baroque buildings supplied by natural hot springs beneath the city. Budapest sits on a vast network of thermal water that Romans first used and that Ottoman rulers expanded in the 16th century. The tradition remains part of daily life. Elizabeth Bridge is a main Danube crossing in Budapest. The original was destroyed in World War II, and the current white suspension span opened in the 1960s to reconnect Buda and Pest. Margaret Bridge was the second permanent bridge built across the Danube in Budapest, its nighttime lights reflecting on the dark river. The bridge reaches Margaret Island, a public park in the middle of the Danube, with fountains, gardens, and sports facilities. The island gives the city a quiet green space between the 2 halves of the capital, and the bridge's illuminated arches frame it against the water at night. The Parliament has 691 rooms and lights the Danube each night. The country that lost 2/3 of its territory kept its largest building standing along this river.